Well, hey, folks, we are back for episode number 6. And if you've been following My Life Out of the Box Instagram page, I put in a little preview of a bear. Hopefully you guys could figure that out, that it was a bear. The bear is more of like Mother Bear, and she is here with me today. And I have the lovely Lindsay Newman for episode 6. How you doing today, Linz?
Hi, Ange. Thank you.
Of course.
Yep. I am a mama bear.
You definitely are a mama bear. And I remember one situation where I definitely was out of my bounds, and you pulled me to the side, and I was actually terrified. I'm like, Lindsay's actually giving me a lowdown right now, and it's kind of scary. But again, I was learning, and it was a situation with Tats, as usual.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that totally came out, and I was like, never again will I try to do something wrong where Lindsay's got to pull out Mama Bear.
Well, I hope it's a good scare, not a bad scare.
Oh, it 100% is. Like, I think once you piss off a mother or you do something wrong and Mama Bear's coming out, it's dead to the point. You did this. This is what we're going to learn from, and we're going to move on. You know? But I think you are more than a Mama Bear, because all I know from you is you are basically the support system for the gym owner, and then you also handle your housing situation with 3 kids. But you have another hat that you play, right? What's that third hat that you have?
Full-time social worker for Socoa.
Okay.
Care manager.
How did you get into social working?
So at a young age, I always had a heart for old people.
Oh, really?
I would always see them, and I just thought they were the cutest. I wanted to hang out with them. Before that, it was I always cared about other people, and I didn't like to see other people suffer. And so then as I grew, as I started to learn that actually older people suffer a lot, and so I started to go to nursing homes. I would play bingo with them. I'd roll them to their rooms, whatever they needed to do. So it started at a young age, and I just loved it. And then studied social work at Butler University.
Big old bulldog.
Yep, bulldog. Yep.
Do you enjoy that? I was going to say, did you enjoy that experience? Because I know is it considered a private-ish, or is it still? Okay.
Yep. Yes, it is. I want to say Jesuit. No, it's not. It's not affiliated with any religious.
Okay.
But yeah, it's private. Yep.
And what took you out to Butler? Because you're not from Indiana, right?
No, I'm from Cincinnati. I wanted to be close to home, but enough that I felt far away. It was a 2.5-hour drive, so I could drive home on the weekends if I wanted to, and then I could also be far enough away and kind of be independent.
So what took you to Butler? Like, what drew you to Butler?
The distance. I heard it was a really good school. Small. I grew up going to a small Christian school my whole entire life, so I was used to small classrooms, the attention. I also had some learning disabilities, so it was really nice to have the teachers available. Same with Butler, like the teachers were available. I felt like if I went to a bigger school, I would have gotten lost in the crowd. So
yeah, I remember at Ball State, the only time I had like over 50, like the big lecture halls, was like freshman speech, the like 108 something psychology, and like history. But once I got into my major, it was maybe 15 people. Yeah.
And that was probably more enjoyable. I don't know. Everybody's different. But
I liked it more because you could talk to your professors a little bit more, and you got to know your professors. We had one that literally looked like Santa Claus.
Oh, nice. So did I.
Yeah. There's always a Santa. I don't get it. But no, that's awesome. And so how long did your major take to study?
So I didn't actually learn I wanted to do social work until my junior year. So I actually had 5 years of college. I'm a fiver.
That's okay. Get that fifth year in.
Yep. And because I started off doing psychology, could not get good grades with that. Tried marketing. I don't know. I don't know what took me so long to find social work, but I took like a class to help you figure out where your niche is. It was really helpful, and found social work. And they didn't have a degree in social work. They only had a concentration. I don't know if that's changed now. So you could either do social work or criminal justice. I just started getting straight A's the second I took sociology classes, and loved it. Fell in love with it. I just find people fascinating, and I have a heart of service, and just was perfect from the get-go.
I think that's awesome that you found that passion through that type of work, because the only knowledge I have of social working is from the movies, and you like hear whoever's playing that role. Like, this is gonna sound so bad, but like Big Daddy. You know, with Adam Sandler and the little kid.
Oh yeah,
but it's
Scuba
not his.
Steve.
Yes, Scuba Steve, just like our neighbor.
Yeah,
Scuba Steve. But how the social worker was calling them and saying, you know, we need you to take care of the child until we find a foster.
Yeah,
that's basic knowledge. I know it's in a comedy, but it's like, so what, in general terms or anything like that, because you said social working can be in different realms or fields, right?
Yeah, so it's like, you got my brain thinking, because I've been doing social work for 15 years. When you asked me that earlier, I wanted to Google it, like how I could explain it to you.
Sure.
It says that it's an academic discipline and practice-based profession that concerns itself with individuals, families, groups, communities, and societies as a whole in an effort to meet basic needs and enhance social functioning, self-determination, collective responsibility, and overall well-being.
So we got the book definition.
So that's why I had to give you the book definition, because it's so big. Like, social work can cover, vulnerable children, vulnerable elderly people. They help families, if they're running out of their basic needs, poor families, it can help. We're big proponents of social justice and people's dignity and service, just helping people meet their basic needs.
Did you want to go into a specific field with social work when you discovered it and found your passion?
Absolutely.
And
my old folks.
Your old folks?
My old folks.
Oh, I think.
Or majority of the people that we serve are the elderly, but we also serve anybody with a disability of any age. So I do have some children and some middle-aged people that I also work with.
I really think that you can learn a lot from the old folks.
Yep, you definitely can.
It's just if you want to sit down and listen. Because there's some funny zingers that they've got about, like, oh my gosh, I saw a video recently, and it was like this girl's grandpa was a carpenter. So he built a bunch of stuff. But then she asked him, she was like, Grandpa, what are you most proud of? And he's like, your relationship with your grandma. But it's just like, I don't think people sit down and listen to that and take their advice. So, I mean, have you had any kind of conversations with your older clients or anything like that with simple things like that? All the time.
Oh my gosh, I've been doing it for 15 years.
Please tell me you've got some great stories. I feel like you would.
I do. Gotta get the cobwebs out. Gosh, Ange, I wish I could think of an example.
They don't care. It's like
so I can't think of a particular story, but they are a forgotten population, and a lot of people kind of push them to the side and don't see the value in their wisdom and their life experiences. We should learn from the past, right? Like, our elderly people have lived longer than we have and have seen a lot more and they're just quirky, and some are funny, some are, some have some memory issues and some behavior issues, but they all just want to be loved just like we do. They want to be loved just like us. So I don't know. I can't think of an example.
No, that's okay. I mean, with working with the elderly people and, just hearing their stories, has it helped you grow as, learning in the beginning of social working, and then you said you've been there for 15 years. Has it also kind of helped you grow as coming into motherhood, and then going from motherhood into parenting older children and things like that?
I've definitely gotten advice from some of the mothers, the elderly mothers, because they'll ask how I'm doing. They'll ask about my kids and my family, and I'll get advice from them on parenting.
Can you see a difference in generation?
Yeah.
With parenting skills?
Oh yeah, they were way better back then than they are now.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. They were no fuss, no business. From my opinion, the good ones, a lot of kids these days, parents let them talk back. They're not as hard on their kids. Kids need routine, they need discipline, and I think with technology, it's a lot harder because it's just easy to put a TV or iPad or whatever in front of your kid's face.
I mean, I agree with you. When I've babysat, I can tell a difference if, like, there was one family I babysat for, and the parents didn't really help me out in saving their screen time. So they had screen time earlier in the day. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, how am I supposed to help these kids kind of, like, wind down so I can put them to bed? They were nuts. It was like they had so much energy that they needed to disperse, and I was like, you guys got to go to bed. It's 8:30. And I, being the babysitter, I was like trying to make sure, brush teeth, let's get to bed by 9, and it was chaotic.
Yep.
But, I mean, the one time I babysat your kids, they were having a good time outside, and, that half-hour show, and that's it. Let's go outside, let's play a game. Your kids taught me a fun game. I forgot what it was called. It was Kids Monopoly.
Oh, yeah.
And your oldest son, he beat us, and I was just like, man, you're going to be making money, aren't you? But
we love games.
Yeah. So just to even have that, it's awesome to see.
Yep.
I mean,
so I've definitely learned from not only parenting, but humility.
Really?
And just their situations, because some of them are sad situations that I do. And, they're not all, living with family and happy. And a lot of them are isolated and alone and struggle with a lot of chronic health problems. And so it makes you be thankful for what you have. And it just humbles you, because I'm so blessed. And because I'm so blessed, I want to be able to use my gifts and give them to those that really need somebody to talk to, someone to, provide them an aid to come into their home so that they can, be at home and not be in a nursing home. That's what I love about it, too. And people are interesting. I'll keep on saying that.
I mean, there's constant, as you said about going into the nursing homes, I think people tend to forget that even though, let's say, like your grandma, she's not at her original home, it doesn't mean you should isolate them. Like, even though they're in a nursing home, I'm sure they still feel isolated. And
absolutely.
The only experience I've had with nursing home was my dad's mom, and I was young. I remember maybe 1 or 2 memories where she was still at her house. But then, like you said, with the chronic illness that it got to, it actually made me feel very sad as a child. And even as I think about it, sometimes to this day, of like, what if grandma still lived on and stuff like that. Do you think people, if they had a little bit more positive experience with nursing homes, they would visit their family members a little bit more, or the situations a little bit more? Because I'm sure you go into different nursing homes, right?
I do home visits. So I have like 70 to 75 people that I see every 3 months. Obviously, with COVID, it's over the phone. But prior to COVID, I would visit them in their homes. And they are set up with home care services that I manage for them so they can stay out of a nursing home. So sometimes if they have a fall or a heart attack or some change in their health and they have to go into a nursing home for rehab, or other situations are they aren't safe to be at home anymore because their health has gone so bad and they need around-the-clock care. I definitely think if nursing homes paid their workers more and were able to hire more, because they're overworked and underpaid, which is why nursing homes are so sad. And I also think it's really hard to care for, when your parents get older, you're not young anymore, like you're in your 50s, 60s when typically when your dads or moms are, in their 80s.
Right.
So sometimes it's hard. You got grown kids and you want to retire, but then you have your parents who need help. So, but, again, it's back to, remembering what your parents have done for you. They've raised you, they've, provided for you, and it's just the circle of life. And if that's how I feel, it's just a circle of life, so you got to take care of them when they're older. But some people, it situations happen and you're not able to.
I mean, I definitely agree with you on that. Like, it's just...
Yeah, so... It's sad. Nursing homes are very sad.
Do you think there's definitely a difference between a nursing home and then, like, senior communities? Because that's more of, like, apartment living. Yep. Have you ever had to work with that situation to go to a senior community for your clients?
Yep, those are options. Okay. Yep, when they need only a little bit of help, not a lot of help.
Okay.
Then those are great options. great options for people because usually they get meals.